It's important that we develop community broadcasting facilities, in my mind. And that's one small, this bill is full of a lot of detail. It will take some time to get through it. One small one I would point out, just for my own interest, was glad to see that we were able to put in, is the facility for us to allow temporary licenses for community broadcasters who may not be able to operate on a full-time basis. But we are allowing the provision up to 100 days a year where they may build up an expertise, build up an audience, prove their worth as we develop what I believe is an important part of our broadcasting infrastructure, the community broadcasters. It's also crucial for us, in my mind, that we strengthen and develop the independent producers who are involved in public and commercial broadcasting. We have increased the provision in terms of the requirement of public sector broadcasters as to the value of money that has to be spent on independent production. I look forward to engaging in a quite detailed debate within the Oireachtas as we go through committee report stage in this bill on the complex and subtle issues that are involved, for example, around the development of the broadcasting fund. And I think I'm open, and we are open in that bill, because this is a subtle area you have to legislate very carefully, and you have to take into account the subtleties that are involved, the editorial and other subtleties that are involved. So I look forward to working with my Oireachtas colleagues in debating some of those issues, particularly in the area of how we develop a strong independent broadcasting sector as the bill goes through the dawn. We have included in the bill, in section 112, a fair trade or fair practice, a fair trading code for the public sector broadcasters to ensure that independent sector does have regulations that protects them, that strengthens them, that allows them to develop further. The funding mechanisms, and Kevin and Bill are maybe going to speak about that. We have been working with RTE in looking at how we assess future developments of the television licence, recognising that there has been real success over the last 5 years from the government decision back in 2003, I think it was, to allow a significant increase in the licence fee, which has been followed year on year by a very successful progress in RTE in television and radio programming. It is time for us, we feel, to be more sophisticated now in terms of assessing the outputs and the measures of success from the public sector broadcaster. We are looking to see now not just measure the outputs of programme in terms of number of hours, but going into real qualitative measures, including qualitative assessment from the audience. This bill is there to really focus on what the audience experience is of those programme outputs. Looking at also what flexibility and efficiencies can be delivered in the public sector broadcasting sector, and recognising that such efficiencies and flexibility is actually going to lead, in my mind, to better content in a broadcasting world which is becoming far more competitive as a whole range of new platforms become available on the internet and in other sources. So that funding mechanisms and the review, the new authority will be involved in that, and will, in conjunction with the department as we proceed. Lastly, if I can, before I turn to Kevin and Bill, there is a significant development occurring at present in the launch of new digital free-to-air programming in television and in radio. This week, Monday, I believe, the Broadcasting Commission of Ireland were involved in a public session where some of the possible bidders for commercial digital platforms were outlining some of their plans in the area. And I very much welcome the manner in which BCI, Comreg and RTE, as well as our department, have been working on a cooperative basis to see how we deliver such a digital television service for this country, which is essential. Our role is independent and removed from it. It is not in our interests. It's the BCI's clear role to determine the outcome of those commercial models. One of the areas, though, where we do have a role and where we are in this bill trying to facilitate what we see as a progressive development is in the public sector free-to-air digital platform, which was set out in previous legislation. We are obviously carrying the main Irish free-to-air channels, but also looking now to develop new broadcasting channels which we believe will add to the public good. One, and sometimes people can have joke and chuckle about this, when I say Oireachtas television is going to be a good view, it's going to be fascinating. But it is, I think, crucial that we develop an Oireachtas DAW which opens up the workings of our Parliament to our people, which, when the Parliament is not sitting here, opens our eyes to the other democratic institutions around the world, be they European, be they United Nations, or be they in parliaments in other countries, or indeed local authorities here in our country. We want to put those democratic proceedings out to the public in the spirit that Jefferson, I think, would actually see as right and appropriate. What we also are looking to do, in conjunction with the Irish Film Board, who've come with a very progressive proposal, which we want to work with in conjunction with the Department of Arts, Sports and Tourism, to deliver a new Irish film channel, free to air, free of commercials, very innovative, which will deliver a huge range of film programming that is already there available to us in our film archive, which is available, we hope, on a very cost-efficient and effective way from world cinema archives that we can tap into, which maybe we can be very innovative in ways that we tap into our own education system to show some of the material that Irish students are actually doing in various film courses around the country. Just looking to see, can we deliver in this new innovative digital broadcasting world a very innovative new film channel that may not have a mass market, that may not be commercial, that will not be commercial, but will actually provide programming that, even for a small audience, is hugely significant and beneficial. So that is the last of the ones I mentioned before I hand over to Kevin and Dale. I would lastly, though, before I finish and take questions, like to welcome the members of the Oireachtas Committee from Fine Gael, from Labour, and also the chairman of the Joint Oireachtas Committee, John Cregan, who is here, who will, I believe, have a crucial role in conjunction with their own department in actually progressing some of the measures as set out in this bill. We have our work to do in the Oireachtas Commission to decide how we actually progress, particularly the appointments issue. We have in the Oireachtas Commission and the Oireachtas Committee looking at the Dáil television a huge job to do in the timeline we have, roughly a year and a half, to get up a Dáil television channel. So we have our work to do in the Parliament. I believe we can do that effectively, collectively. We can do a better job for the Irish people, and I'm looking forward to working with my colleagues on both sides of the House in delivering those changes.